Hey, everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Friday Fun Live, and welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a lot of fun things happening today. It's been 6 years since we reached the 100,000 milestone. You can see that beautiful plaque I got from YouTube. And on Wednesday, 2 days ago, we reached another milestone, 300,000 subscribers. So I just wanted to start off by saying thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't do anything, any of this without supporters like you. Of course, without the Lord above. I just thank God and my Lord Jesus Christ. He gets all the glory. He gives me the strength to get out of bed every day. And I believe gives us this talent and the desire to create. We are created. Little mini sermon here. Sorry. I believe we are created in the image of God, and that's what it says in Genesis, the very first book in the Bible. And God is a creator, and if we are made in his image, I think that's why we have this desire to make things with our hands and to create. You don't have to agree with me on that. That's okay. But I believe that with all my heart. And I just thank you all for just being such a great support. And I'm going to show you a stack of books I've got here in just a minute. But before I do that, we're going to give a book to the winner of the first person in the chat today, which is Brat's Mom 6749. Also, I know this lady as Linda. And Linda, congratulations. And she says, good morning, Bonnie, Hannah, Becky, and all my yarnies from sunny and beautiful Southwest Chicago suburbs. Please, friends, she always does this. Remember to smash that thumbs up button. What a great day for a celebration. Thank you. And Linda, you've been with me just about every bit of the way with your kind support. And I'm just really happy. And this is the way this is going to work. Throughout this hour, I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to ask a question. If you can answer the question, some of the questions may be about me, and some of them may just be a random number selection. So we're going to do a bunch of different things. And I'm going to do it throughout the hour. I'm not going to do them all at once. So just to let you know, yeah, I'm a little manipulative. I guess I'm trying to get you to hang in there with us. I really want you to enjoy one another and the friends. But it's just the way I want to do my party. I don't want to open all the presents at once. I want to open them as we go. Okay. And my presents are all gifts to you. And let me go ahead and start with that. I'm just going to show you the books. And the way I'm doing this, instead of saying you win this book or that book, you get to choose. You get to choose whichever one you want. We have small books, we have large books. So let me go ahead. I'm not going to give these in any particular order, but these are some that we have. Cable Baby Blankets. It's one of my Leisure Arts publications. And there are, I think, 5 or 6 blankets in there. Here's another one, textured. I'm trying to get that centered. Textured super scarves, another Leisure Art publication. I believe there are 4 or 5 scarves in here. Pardon. And just to tell you, these scarves can be made huge, and most of these are crocheted with the worsted weight. But if you just want a smaller scarf, you can crochet this with your fingering weight yarn and have a normal size scarf, just to let you know that. Bags and backpacks is another, with many different gadget bags and backpacks and messenger bag on the front. This is a self-published work. Winning at the Fair. This is a very short book, easy to read, large print. But if you're interested in entering in the fair, this is a book for someone who's absolutely knows nothing about it. If you're an avid fair goer and you have entered for many years, pass on this one, because you know more than I do probably about this. But this is my experience in how to enter and make your projects the best they can possibly be, so that you can win purple ribbons, maybe even best of show. And this is another super scarves leaflet by Leisure Arts. Many of you may have seen this in Hobby Lobby. I know Hobby Lobby still sells these. Thank you, Hobby Lobby. It's really hard to find crochet books in stores now, as you probably are aware. This is another one, Contemporary Celtic Crochet. This has 24 designs in it. Now, there are some videos online for this book, but it's not comprehensive as far as video support. I do have the stitch videos up for this. These were printed before some of these were printed before YouTube was really a reality. Here's another book, Celtic Cable Crochet. All right, I'll put these down here. I've got a stack. And by the way, most of these, not the small leaflets, but most of these are available in my online Etsy store, and I sign those before they go out. And I can sign for friends. If you want a special gift for a friend, I can certainly accommodate that. Here is 4 seasons. I'm trying to get the 4 seasons of cable crochet throws. There are 6 throws in this book. And here is probably my newest one of my newer publications, Celtic Cable Throws to Crochet. There are 7, is that right? Yeah, 7 intermediate level cable throws in this book. If you're an absolute beginner, I have a beginner book for you. And this beginner book will not freak you out. It doesn't have a list of 300 abbreviations you have to memorize. It's an absolute beginner's book. I take you from knowing nothing, and the book progresses as you go through it, learning new techniques as you go, so you don't stay a beginner. And here's Celtic Crochet Shawls. This is my newest publication, and there are 10 intermediate level shawls, and these have complete video tutorials. Easy Beginner Baby Blankets, a really fun book if you're a beginner. Even if you're not a beginner, these all have video tutorials. If you know somebody, if you crochet baby blankets for charity, this might be something you'd be interested in. And by the way, all the videos for these designs are already on my YouTube channel publicly. Here's another one, Celtic Cable Crochet. Cable Crochet Made Easy. If I can't even get my own titles right, that's pretty bad. This was pre-pandemic. Here's another one, Aran Afghans to Crochet, another Leisure Arts leaflet. And I showed this to you last week, self-striping projects. So these are the books that I have in stock right now that if you're one of our winners, you can select from. And I just want to say congratulations. There were 3 winners that have already been published in a post on my Facebook page. So if you are following that, those 3 winners have been selected and notified in the post. If you are one of those, I don't have the names. Even if I had the names to read to you, I probably would not read them very well because they're hard to pronounce. They've been notified. And if you are a winner, you're going to have to contact me via email, bonniebay@me.com, because through this YouTube environment here, I don't have a way to contact you directly. So you're going to have to respond. All right. So, okay, Tiffany would like to know if you can extend the scarves to blanket size. I guess you could. You're going to have to be equipped to do some math and be a bit familiar with the stitches. But I would just look at some of the videos online that have these stitches already in designed throws. That might be the easier thing to do. Okay, and Tiffany wants to know where you can go to find basic cables. Is there a playlist for them on your channel? Yes, there is. If you want just stitch videos alone, look under Aran Celtic Crochet Stitches. There is a playlist. Go to my homepage, go to playlist. It's up at the top, and then that will come forth. Heather, thank you. My goodness. Thank you for your kind donation of $50. That is huge. Let me add this. I needed to pause and add this into my tracker here on that. Thank you. My goodness. So that brings us up to $80. So that means, so we have, for those of you who are new to the channel, I don't solicit super chats, but when people are gracious enough to donate, like Heather just said, thank you so much, Heather. That is a huge donation. Thank you. I know that's a sacrifice. What we do is once we reach the $100 mark, is we make that $100, all of it goes to a charitable organization that's near and dear to our hearts, mine in particular. We have a couple. Rancho 3M is one. Shriners Hospital for Children is another. Those are kind of the two biggies. Another one is Show Hope, which is an organization that helps um, people trying to adopt children. It's a Christian organization run by Stephen Curtis Chapman and his wife, Beth Chapman. Um, yeah, and occasionally it will be Samaritan's Purse because they help with disaster relief, both international and domestic, and a really, really great organization. So thank you, Heather, for enabling me to be able to contribute. Or really, it's all of us collectively. And when we reach $100, what we do is I try to come up with a song. It might be a rerun, or come up with an original crochet parody song using a tune that you'll probably know. I know that's a little kind of corny, but it's I like corny and I like fun. So it's just a way to laugh and have a good time, and also to celebrate. All right, so let me go ahead and get through some of these chats here. Kelly, great to have you with us. And she says she's crocheting another phone bag, and it's a bunny mobile phone bag. It has two video. It has two video. Okay, you have two videos of it. Okay, I'd love to see that. And thank you for all the other information you've added there. Hope things are okay where you are, because I know you mentioned some police activity. We're not going to talk about that here, but I hope things are okay with you. Um, and good morning, Miss Wanda. She says, good morning, Miss Bonnie and everyone. Congratulations on your 300,000. Thank you. Praying everyone is here is doing well. Yes, that is always the prayer, is it not? Ah, thank you so much. Is it Fibalala? That's a great name. Well, you just pushed us over. So $20 more. Okay. So I'm gonna have to ask next week because I haven't really practiced, and I'm not really prepared for anything this week. But the beginning of next week, I will open with a song. I promise you. If I am physically able, I will. So that pushes us to $100. And let's see. So it looks like Rancho 3M is going to be our donor recipient, and Rancho 3M is a Christian orphanage and school um, near Juarez, Mexico. If anybody knows Juarez, you know that it's not a good area. It's a border town with the U.S. border, not far from there. My daughter Becky and I have been there. I won't go into all the details, but they're doing a fantastic work, and they have been doing. I mean, we were there. It'll be 20 years ago this coming summer, but they are still continuing to do fantastic work. They're caring for orphans and their distress, which is one of the highest things that you can do besides take care of widows in their distress, which is what my daughter Hannah is doing. And in the eyes of the Lord, is caring for people who have nothing, nobody. So yeah, thank you so much for that kind $20 donation. I so appreciate that. Okay, well, let's keep going here. Boy, you all are such a blessing, such a great group of people. Um, and thank you, Wanda, for helping Kelly to know when we were going on today. And let's see. Oh, Tiffany is here. Says I'm early as I didn't want to miss her live. Well, thank you, Tiffany. So glad that you can be with us and join our little celebration. Well, let's go ahead and do another. Let's go ahead and do another book. I'm gonna have to skip around in the chat. Um, Yay, thank you, Hannah. I'm gonna have to skip ahead in the chat, so I'm gonna try to get to everybody. Well, let me just try to hit some more before I do this. Uh, let's see, we have Gaga Rap. I'm so glad you're joining us, and she wants to know what I'm working on today. I'll be showing you that in just a second. Um, but just to let you know, generally I don't really crochet during this time. I have over 1,000 videos. Oh my goodness, can you believe that? On my homepage, if you're looking for something special or specific, you can always contact me or look through the playlist. Um, but this is a time where we just catch up. I show off show off, show some things that I've got in process, things that are coming. And like today's is a 300,000. That's a big number. 300,000 subscriber celebration. So we're going to be giving away books because that's what I have. And you're from Charlotte, North Carolina. That's fantastic. Um, I almost got a ticket the last time I went through Charlotte, but I didn't get the ticket. It was kind of fun. Okay, I got to tell that story real quick. Um, this was right after I bought the second new car that I've ever bought in my entire life. The first one I bought in 1985. It was just over $7,000 for a new car back then. Wow, which was like more money than I could have dreamed of at the time. It's still a lot of money, but now you know it's a drop in the bucket. But during the pandemic, in 2021, I actually bought a car that I'd been dreaming of my whole life. Well, since 1989 at least. I bought a Miata, a Mazda Miata, and I was driving it. I bought it in South Carolina where I was caring for my mother-in-law, because of the shutdown and the the government, which I'll withhold my comment on what I think about my local government, but it's not good. They basically would not permit travel from one state to another, which I think is not good. But okay, I've already said too much. But anyway, I was actually driving the car home, one of my opportunities to come home and see my husband during this lockdown situation. And the reason I was there in South Carolina was helping to care for my mother-in-law, who was by herself and needing assistance. So I was driving the car and I stopped in Charlotte to visit a friend, and Siri was giving me directions, and I accidentally, because I don't know the area, it was telling me which lane and so forth. And so I ended up in the express lane, and I did not have permission to be in the express lane, so I should have gotten a ticket for that. And I was waiting for it to come in the mail, one of those automatic things. But I had a paper tag, which is a non-reflective tag on my car, and thereby they couldn't give me a ticket. So I actually got a free ride in the express lane while I was visiting my friend in Charlotte. So anyway, so anybody that's an official from Charlotte, I'm sorry, but you know, oh well. Anyhow, um, I will do that. I will do that, Hannah, in just a second. All right. So let me just get through some of these. Let me just scroll down just a little bit. And Tiffany's asking if we're going to crochet today. No, we're not going to crochet today. Like I mentioned, we're going to be chatting and just visiting. And I need, it takes all of my faculties to be able to just read through the chat and keep up with what I wanted to share with you today. And we got a lot going on. So, but thank you for, for asking about that, because I know a lot of people don't maybe understand what this is all about. It's more about community. Oh, wow, there are so many. All right, well, I may not get to read everybody's comment during the live, but I wanna give another book away. And again, you have to tell me which book you want. You can pick from any of my books, okay? And I'm going to pick, the first person who can tell me. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is the first person that appears in my chat, and I have this set for the live chat, so it should come in order. Now, if your live chat is set to, if your chat, as the comments come in, are set in a different way, how can this be set? Let me see. Okay, if you have yours set to top chat, your order may be different than mine. So just to let you know that as I get ready to tell you. So what I want you to tell me, and the first person to publish the answer in the chat will be my winner. And before I do that, let me say I have an apology to make to anybody that's outside the US, and that is I really cannot afford to ship outside the United States of America, because it's about 3 times the price of the actual book. It's about 4 or 5 times, in some cases, the price of what it would cost me to mail this to somebody in the US. So it just becomes a lot of money. I remember, mailing a small box to my daughter when she was in Switzerland, and I think we paid close to $80 just to have that shipped. So it's like, but What I can do if you're an international winner is I can send you a PDF of any of my self-published works, okay? So when you contact me if you're an international winner, I will tell you the list that you can pick from, and I will happily just send you a PDF, which is basically the same thing. Um, it's just not in print. It's just not in hard copy form. All right, so that's out of the way. So the first person to tell me the name of my very first crochet publication, um, or my very first crochet publication. If you can tell me which of those books was my very first publication, you can get a pick of your of your choice. Okay. And if I don't get anybody commenting on that, up, Susie got it. You're close, Phil. When I Phil had okay, okay, we can stop. Got us a winner. Susie Pops Creations. Okay, Aran Throws. Okay. Yes, this is, and I knew this is what you meant. This was my very first publication, published in 2009. That's when I sold the rights to these to the publication company, which is Leisure Arts. So Susie Pops, let me write you down. Um, the other questions I'm going to ask aren't going to be as hard as that, but I really wanted to give the hardcore people who've been following me a long time, a little bit of an edge in this. So please forgive me for that if that's a problem for you. Um, all right. So Susie, what you need to do is you need to just send me an email, bonniebay@me.com, and just say I'm one of your winners, and we will get that in the mail to you. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead. I wanted to show you my throw. This is you've seen this before, but I'm going to review for anybody who hasn't. Okay, this is I'm not going to open it up all the way, but it is about 47, 48 inches wide. Okay, this is the Celtic Sampler Throw, which starts up here. Okay, and it goes through these stitches. And this is a crochet along that is currently available on my YouTube channel. All 3 videos are now available. Make sure you go video 1, video 2, video 3. Someone mentioned that they did video 3 before they realized they were on video 3, and they did video 3 before video 2. Actually, if that was you, you're still okay, because the number wise, it's still going to work. Okay, because the stitch count does remain constant. This features large honeycomb. We have the wandering cables, and we have this a couple of times, this motif with the horizontal cable, the cable stitch, arrow, low front ridge, and then it ends at the very end with the Saxon cable. Okay, and then a revisitation with the same cabled ribbing at the end. Okay, so, and if you're new to this, the videos are up. The videos are going to be up for a while. You can look in the video description of this video, and I'll have a link where you can get the written pattern if you're interested in that. There's also a Facebook page where you can ask questions. You're going to have to ask questions within the post. I do respond to those. I do check it a couple of times every day, except for weekends. So if you have a problem on the weekend, I'm sorry. I'll get to you on Monday. Just thanks for understanding that. And I am starting to get some photos. This is not to put pressure on those of you who are not able to, finish this right away. That's okay. But I do have a tentative deadline of April 10th, which is what? At least 6 weeks, almost 6 weeks out, where I would love to have a photo. This would be if you give me your permission to share this on social media. I'm going to be collecting photos of these throws that have been completed by you, and put them all together in a video on YouTube, and I'll be sharing that elsewhere on social media. But a showcase of the different yarns, colors, ways people have completed this project. And this does take 23 balls or skeins of the Paintbox yarns, or any worsted weight yarn that you want to use. You can even use, people have asked, can I use DK weight? Well, if you're okay with the smaller blanket, that's absolutely fine. So, and also, if you look at Lovecraft's site, you're going to find out that they don't have many colors available in the US. So that's why I'm saying you can use your favorite worsted weight yarn. I know some of you are outside the US and don't even have access to the kind of yarn I mentioned. I totally understand, but this is pretty universal size worldwide. So whatever is your favorite worsted weight yarn, definitely use that. The lighter colors do show off the texture better, but and you'll probably learn the stitches better if you're new. If you're brand new to a lot of these stitches, I would definitely stay away from ombres and stay away from dark colors, because it's going to be really hard to see the work. But that said, another option is to look at using yarn from your yarn stash. I know if you're like me, you have a box of or a bin where you have leftover balls of different colors from various projects that were worsted weight. You can kind of line them up and see how you like the colors and put them together. And if you're looking for ideas on how to do that, some of you have already sent me some photos that have looked amazing. I am including in the video description, there is a project that we did back in 2020. Yeah, like 6 years ago, called the Colorful Cables Throw. And if you look in a video description, you can get the link to look at what that looked like. It's again, a video YouTube playlist. And I also put a link of the showcase from the Colorful Cables Throw. If you look at that, you can see all the different ways that you all used color with that, which really blew me away. I mean, you just really knocked them out of the park. And um, I really enjoyed doing my Colorful Cables Throw. I don't have the throw. It's actually it's on Hannah's end. It's I gave that to my mother-in-law, but this is just a, if I can share that, just is just a printout of what it might look like. But this is the color. This is the throw that I'm talking about. Okay. But if you look at the video, you'll see a lot more variations in what you can do with the color. Again, if you're using a very light ombre, a very fast color changing yarn, that might be okay, but be careful of some of these, because the ones that go dark and light, and if you combine that with a lot of texture, your brain actually does have trouble processing what you're looking at. I mean, there's a limit to what you can use with some of, these stitches and still have it look, really nice to see the texture pop. So definitely check that out. Okay, I cannot believe how fast this time goes. It's already 12:28. Tiffany asked, would Care Simply Soft work well for cable throws? Feel like it might be too slick. Honestly, I would probably err on the side of something not as soft for a throw, for that particular throw. Um, I I'm thinking maybe a Care 1-pounder. I've used that in the past when I was designing the Aran Afghans booklet. I used some Red Heart, and I also used, I know this one was used with I used Care 1-pounders for these. Excuse me. So it's, you want something that's going to give a little more stitch definition, if that makes sense. The softer a yarn is, I think you do tend to lose a little bit of stitch definition, but it can be a good effect too. So it's really up to you. But I would try it a little more of a stiffer yarn. I think that would help you. Okay, and how many yards total? I believe this is around 4,600 yards. So let me do a quick math so I can double check myself on that. So it's 23 times 201, 4,600, about 4,600 yards. So it's that's a lot. That's why we don't make these out of, really expensive yarn, because it would be prohibitively expensive for everybody. Thank you for sending those. And how big did the Celtic Sampler Throw end up being? I believe I'd have to look it up on the pattern. It's at least 60. It's more than 60 inches long. Okay, it's a long one, and I believe about 48 or so inches wide. That that's a guesstimate, but it's close to that. All right, so let me I'm gonna back up in the chat and just see. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, Susie. She says, thanks, Bonnie and everyone. Now I'll have to check which book I don't have because I have a ton of them. You're such a great supporter, Susie. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hannah, for posting that Etsy link in there. And Dawn's Reborn. Thank you for joining us from the UK. Wow. Oh, thank you for your comment, Tiffany, about the throw. And yeah. All right. So I'm I wanted to mention to Phil, you guessed earlier, Aran Hart's throw. You were very close on that. The Aran Hart's throw was actually the first design that I ever sold to any yarn company. And that was when I was in Greensboro, North Carolina for my very first Crochet Guild of America conference. And but by then I had already had 2 publications. There's another publication I wish I could show you, but I don't have any in stock. The Noggins and Necks, or Noggins and Necks. Yeah. It's a scarf and hat set leaflet, but I had already been published with Leisure Arts on both of those before I attended my first conference. In fact, I sold the leaflets to women who were that I met who were interested, and that kind of helped me buy money, have money for lunch. I mean, it was slim pickings back in those days. I was still a stay-at-home homeschool mom, and yeah, it's great to be published, but that by itself definitely does not pay the bills. I mean, it helps a little bit, but it was just my kind of entry into this. So, but the Aran Hart's throw, again, Phil, thank you. That was a good guess. So that was the very first one sold to Red Heart Yarns, and then the basket weave diamond would be another one. I believe I sold after that, and then after that, I had developed a relationship with the Bobby Matella with Red Heart Yarns, and that was back when they were in Charlotte, and yeah, and sold them many others that are available even today, free on with Yarn Inspirations, even though they're taking my name off of these sometimes, and they've renamed a couple of them. So shame on them, but still, it was just a really a great opportunity to to get into that. Okay, and okay, yeah, I will do that in just a minute, Hannah, about the mannequin behind us. Or let me go ahead and do that now. All right, so the project behind me, okay, this is called the Wisteria scarf, and I've got another version of it right here. This is the one that I crocheted with the YouTube video, and this one's actually coming out on Monday. Okay, so this is called the Wisteria scarf. Okay, it's a nice long scarf. Now, I did a little bit of research online. I used yarn from a company called Yarn Indulgences, and this yarn is a blend of, I think it's 65% linen and about 35% silk. It's a very nice blend going into the spring and summer. One that's not going to, overheat you, but yet it will add, just a nice layer when going into air conditioning, or, if it's just a little chilly in the morning, but it's going to be hot in the afternoon. I mean, this will be great. Unfortunately, the yarn that I used doesn't seem to be available online at the moment. I will contact her to see if she's going to offer more. But she is up in Canada, and the name of the company is called Yarn Indulgences. And this is called their linen, their silken linen is the name of the yarn. But the good news is you don't have to have that specific yarn to do this. In fact, if you have any, I would recommend you use a solid color yarn. If you have a solid color yarn that is sock weight or even sport weight in your stash, that would work quite well. Let me give you the yardages that I used for the scarf. Now for the stole behind me, I made that a little bit shorter, so it's not as long. I used 2 skeins of the silken linen fingering yarn from Yarn Indulgences. Each of those has 490 yards. So that's going to round that up to 500. So it's roughly, I used roughly 1,000, just under 1,000 yards. Let's say probably like 900 yards to make this scarf. Of course, with the repeated motif, you can make it as long or as short as you wish, and which is what I did here. This is just a stole, and this is, as you can see, a much wider piece, and that is using a DK weight yarn. Again, I was using a yarn that I had been saving for something special in my stash. But honestly, this is one of those projects. Whoop, bump the table. One of those projects where you can use any yarn in your stash that you wish. I would stay away from real heavy duty thick. I wouldn't go any thicker than worsted weight. Now, if you go, this is another scarf design. If you go, this is a worsted weight. This is about as thick as you're probably going to want to go, because if you go to the really thick yarn, I think it's going to be, it's not going to be nearly as drapey, and that might be a little unyielding, with the yarn there. So, all right. Okay, we're going to give away another book. Again, forgive me, you all, for not getting to all your comments. I so want to read every single one out loud, but I'm not going to be able to. I did see, thank you, Anna says she just purchased the book Contemporary Celtic Crochet. Absolutely love it. That makes me feel real good. Thank you so much. And thank you for your support. Oh, and Hannah tells me that Swati is in the chat. Hey, Swati, I hope you're doing well. No, the yardage is different. Like I said, the is different on the stole. I don't really know what the yardage is on this one. Okay. It actually might be a little bit more, or maybe because it's a thicker yarn and it's going to be used up faster. Probably, I would guess maybe around 1,200 on that. That's my guesstimation on that. And yes, the Wisteria Throw. Okay, good idea, Diane. Well, let me go ahead and get into that before I give away another book. All right. So the question is, when are we going live with the throw? Because I actually have the same pattern for the Wisteria Throw. Well, what I'm going to do is this one will be coming March 2nd. So 2 weeks from there, is that what, the 15th or the 16th, Hannah? Probably the 16th. The 2 weeks after that, I'll be releasing the Wisteria Throw, which is the same stitch. It is a little bit different on the borders. So there's a little bit of variation, but the actual Wisteria stitch, which is, I'm calling this a large honeycomb with a twist, with the 4-post cable, that will be probably around the 16th, or 3 weeks from Monday, or 2 weeks. Anyway, what was I going to do now? Oh yeah. And someone was asking about the yarn for this, and I said I wouldn't use the Simply Soft, but I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but I did use a softer yarn on this one, okay, on the Wisteria Throw. Now, I used this Mighty Stitch, which is not the cheapest yarn available. I'll just say that. It was on sale at Knit Picks when I got it, so that it was very reasonable. Last time I checked, it was not on sale. but this is a similar yardage, 208 yards. What's nice about this is it's 80% acrylic, 20% superwash wool. And it is similar to Aran Simply Soft, but I think a lot better than that. It does have wool in it, and I enjoyed working with it. I wasn't sure how I was going to enjoy it because it is just a tad bit thinner. It is a number 4, but it is definitely a tad bit thinner than, your typical number 4 weight yarns. And the same with Aran Simply Soft. It's definitely on the thinner side. So, and I'm just going to say, like I do for all of these throws, you don't have to have exactly what I used. Any worsted weight yarn would be fine. Use your favorite worsted weight. But I do like the way this kind of bloomed up. It does have a really nice feel to it, very soft texture, and a little bit of a fuzzy, soft look to it. It's different. So just wanted to put that out there. I did want to experiment with yarns like you. I'm sure experiment with yarns, and this was part of my experimentation, and I really liked it. I do have some more in my stash of this yarn, and I'm looking forward to, I think this is going to be a nice selection for a garment. So I might have to be working on that in the future. Not sure yet what, but it will be coming. All right, so I have a question for you. I have a good question there, Trish. How do you wash a blanket with a lot of wool in it? Doesn't it get heavy? Okay, I don't. This is super wash wool, so this is not going to be a problem. I would just care for this in the same way that I would any acrylic blanket. And what you can always do is it says here machine wash cold, tumble dry low. So you can decide on that if I definitely would put it in the washer machine probably by itself, not with anything that's going to get hung up or tangled on it. I also have a front loader so that doesn't have the agitator, so it's much more gentle on your clothes. As far as putting it in the dryer, that's really up to you, because when you put things in the dryer, that's when whether it's your shirts or anything, that's what really I think wears on the clothes more because the fabric rubs against itself. I kind of opt to air dry my throws, not put them in the washer. I'm not put them in the dryer. I do put them in the washer, not the dryer. I don't have any blankets that are like all wool. But what you would need to do is whatever wool you use, just look at the care on the label, or you'll have to go to the internet to find out about that. Generally, with wool things like that are garments, I would recommend hand washing it in a wool kind of a solution that is sold in a lot of yarn stores. Or you can buy this online, something that's specially for very special things. Do not agitate it, just squish it gently, and then you have to use a lot of towels to gently roll it and then squish the water out, and then leave it to dry in the shape that you want it to be in. Now, doing that with 100% huge wool blanket, I don't have any blankets like that. So that would be a chore. That would be a chore, and you'd have to be very, very, very careful with it. So, okay, I keep getting distracted. All right. So, yes, Eucalan is great, is what Seabuck says. Yes, yes, that's actually, I have a little bottle of that in my cabinet right over there. That's a good recommendation. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to ask another question. And the first person that gets this will have a choice of a book. Okay. What state am I from originally? Just tell me, what state am I from originally? Not now, but yep, Trish got it. All right. So Trish, you are our winner. Goodness, is that too easy of a question? I should have asked what city. Okay. All right. The second question. Okay. So we have Trish is our winner. Okay. For another book, tell me, what is the name of the city in Florida? Ah, Phil, you got it, bub. And you even spelled it right. Goodness gracious. All right. Well, Phil, you are one of our winners. So we only have one more book to go. So, so, so again, that's Brat's mom, Susie Pops, Trish, and Phil. You're going to need to email me, bonniebay@me.com. That's really me. It's nobody else. So don't be afraid. It's not a scam or anything. And I will send whichever book you would like. Okay. And let's see. What else do I have on my docket here? Whew. Let me give you some dates that are coming up, and they're coming up really fast. I know March, in our family, we have a lot going on. A lot. I have some travel in March, and I know that March is going to fly, and we're going to be in April before you know it. So enjoy these cold days because they are numbered. April 25th from 9 to 5, I am planning on having a table. I'm going to say I'm planning on because only God knows what's going to happen that day. Because I remember one year I planned on being at this, I rented the table space, it was prepaid, and then my back went out. So I'm hoping to stay healthy. And I will be having a table full of books and little goodies, some giveaways at the Frederick Fiber Festival at the Frederick Fairgrounds in Frederick, Maryland. How many times can you say Frederick? So it's a wonderful festival. I believe they're going to have over 100 vendors there. I mean, each year that I've been, they add another building. I know they're getting low on adding buildings. Then one year they added a tent. So there are going to be a lot of beautiful yarns and all sorts of things that for crafty people like you and me. I just love meeting the local indie dyers, and that's how I met the yarnsmith who actually provided the yarn. Actually, I bought the yarn from her. This was before we were doing a lot more collaborations, but this yarn came from her booth, and she's going to be there. And she has really good prices on her yarn and really good yarn. I will vouch for her till the cows come home. And I met many other people there, really good folks. I will be selling a lot of crochet books. I will also have examples. I'm not selling this one, but for example, I have a lot of samples that I make when I record my YouTube videos, and I don't need to have 100 different capes and things and scarves. So I'm going to have a lot of those available for sale at reasonable prices. They're not going to be cheap. They're not going to be Walmart prices, but I don't overestimate people's abilities to pay. So I try to keep it within reason. So if you're interested in that, please stop. Even if you don't need any books, please just stop by and say hello. I have some buttons. I have some, I don't have one here to show you, but I have little giveaways. If you just say, I watch your channel, that's all you need to do, or say, I've followed you or whatever. I have a little thank you gift for you. Okay. So just for stopping by, you don't have to buy anything, but do mention that. Okay. There's going to be a lot of people there. So I need to, I want to give you guys, you guys and ladies, special time. I want to meet you and thank you personally. All right, so we're still down to one more winner. We'll get to eventually. Let's see. I feel bad that I'm not getting to all the questions, but and Dandelion Craft says Yarnsmith yarn is so pretty. Yes, it is. And oh, Red Hook. You've probably met Donna and Sam Smith. Really good people. And they are going to be the ones who are going to be kind of overseeing the Pittsburgh Festival coming in August. So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, Trish has a good question. Which book should I choose from? Trish, if you want to go, if you're inside the US, really any of the books that you see, if you just go to Amazon.com and plug in my name, Bonnie Barker, and a lot of the books are going to come right up there, and you can look and see what's there. Okay. I don't have a link per se. Actually, if you go to this is even easier. If you go to my website, And if you look across the top, it'll say Bonnie's Books. If you click on that, it'll have most of the books listed there. Okay, and I believe that does take you to Amazon where you can purchase some of those. You can look on my Etsy page to see a lot of the books, but they're also they're mixed in with a lot of other designs, so that might be harder to do. So just go to my website, bonniebay.com, and click on books, and that's all you need to do, and they should all appear there. And I'll definitely be signing it to you, and, you know, we can when you email me, you can let me know how you want me to sign it, because I know some of you all like, I know Brat's mom probably doesn't want a book signed to Brat's mom. She probably wants me to use her real name. So, yeah, definitely tell me to whom I would sign this for, okay? My it's my pleasure, Trish. I honestly wish I could afford to just send everybody a book, but what I I can't afford the postage anymore. Um, Postage recently, or it's gone up a couple of times. I have not raised my prices until this past week for the books that I mail out on my Etsy page. So if you see my book on Etsy and you see, wow, she's asking $3 more than what it sells for on Amazon, the reason is I include shipping in that price. So that when you see those books on um on Etsy, on my Etsy page, that if you're in the US, they basically ship free, which I've kind of lumped that kind of into the price that you already see. And I did have to raise it because shipping has gone up probably 40%. I mean, I don't know the exact percent, so don't spot check me on that, but it's gone up like from $3.50 to over 5 in the last year or 2. I mean, and I have not, you know, I've kept my books kind of the static in the same prices without raising for the increase in postage, but I finally just had to kind of knuckle under and do that just so that I can, you know, at least make, you know, 2 or $3 on shipping out a book, because otherwise it's just kind of there's no reason to sell it. So anyway, yeah, I know you understand. Yes, thank you, Dandelion Crafts. I try to be. I don't like to price anything higher. Yeah, knits, pearl, and squirrel within. Yeah, media mail has also gone up. The problem with media mail though is I can't mail media mail from home using the app with Etsy, because and if I do, I have to go to the post office to send off media mail, so that's like an hour, half hour out of my day, and if I do that, you know, then there's the calculation of the gas involved and the time and whatnot. But, also with media mail, there's no tracking. You have to pay a couple dollars extra for tracking, and Etsy kind of requires tracking, and I have sent many books out just from home without tracking, and that has affected my seller rating. It has kinda taken stars away, you know? You can be a scammer like we talked about last week and sell things that aren't even yours, but and have a 5 star, but because I didn't, you know, didn't send tracking with a lot of my books, um, yeah, so I just go ahead and I get the postage from Etsy, and that has gone up. So anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk on that. So, we have Secret Yarnery. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us. And Hannah just sent me. Did you just send me a question? Oh, my son is sending me a question, checking up on his kitty. I am a cat sitter currently while my son and his wife are away. Thank you, Tammy, for your congrats. Um, And Secret Yarnery, great question. There is an Australian book publishing company, seems to be better for authors. Um, Actually, I found publishing independently now. I have published with um, my two thicker books are with Penguin Random House, but they used to be with Interweave and F and W Media. But and some of my others are with Leisure Arts, but by and large, I publish independently now through Amazon KDP, and I find that I just have enjoyed that. I preferred that above selling all my rights to publishers now, because if I were to go with like go with Penguin Random House again, I would have to give them the rights to everything, all my work, in order for them to publish it, and I don't wanna do that. So I just am choosing to self-publish, and by doing so, Amazon in Australia does sell my books that way, and as well as Amazon in Japan, Amazon in Germany, Amazon in the UK, and, throughout Europe, as well as the US and Canada. So, um, yeah, I've just opted for that instead because that way I retain, the rights to my work. I'm not selling it off, and I'm not, selling it into an AI learning machine, and I won't get into all that, but if you are interested in the whole AI debacle, check out my YouTube channel. I do have a video, you might be interested in on that. Just, I forget the title of it, but it has a very unflattering picture of my face on it, and it has a picture of 2 books that are totally AI and absolutely worthless to you as crocheters, and I just wanted to get that word out. But anyway, um, yes, Anna wants to know if she can purchase these from Amazon. Yes, ma'am. I believe all these books that I showed you earlier, they're all on Amazon.com, and many of them, like I said, worldwide, so which is a really cool thing. And Dandelion Craft says, "I appreciate getting your books on Kindle because I can change the size of the font." Oh, very cool. Um, yes, Tiffany. Yes, thank you for just keep your rights to your works. Yes, ma'am. I have learned that the hard way. Um, and yeah, and it just seems like the ones that are stolen the most online and resold are ones that I don't own the rights to anymore. So, the publisher that owns it is really, yeah, having to deal with that. So anyway, we have one more book I want to give away. Okay, I have a number in my head. It's a number between 1 and 20. If you're the first to guess it, you're just going to have to trust me on this. So a number between 1 and 20. And the first, and I'm at the bottom here. This first person that I see gets it. Do, 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 do. A lot of good guesses as well. Okay, we got a winner. Jen Reeves, the number was 8. So Jen, okay, we got our number. So Jen Reeves, let me go ahead and write you down here. Okay, so the number was 8. And when you contact me about the books, uh, okay, you all use regular names on here for the most part, and I know who Brat's mom is, but yeah, just yeah, sometimes the names are weird, and someone contacts me and I don't recognize the name, but I think we'll be good. So congratulations, Jen. So that's 5 books for today. So that's a lot, but we're not done. Um, what I'm gonna do, I've already given away 5 here, 3 on Facebook. So I'm gonna give away about 4 more. If you want to be eligible for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to give 4 more away for those who were not able to follow the live while we are live. I understand people have jobs, they have to work for a living. I totally get that. So in order to give everybody a fair square chance, if you are watching the rebroadcast or if you're watching me live right now and you want to give it another go, and I am doing this totally at random. In fact, when I picked the numbers this morning for the Facebook, I just asked my daughter-in-law, I said, I need you to give me 3 numbers between 1 and 365 because we had over 365 people try to win on Facebook. And she gave me 3 numbers and I reset it so the newest were at the top and the oldest were at the bottom, started at the bottom and started counting. So it's totally at random. I'm not showing any favoritism. Um, I'm going to give 4 more books away. And so what you need to do to be entered, all you need to do is comment below, enter me or say hi or just, you know, I want a book or just I don't know, just or something nice or whatever. Or yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll do the number system and have my one of my kids give me 4 random numbers determined by how many people actually enter. And then I will post these in on my channel on Monday. I will let's see, I will post that information in the video description of this video, but I'll also post it as a post. So if you are subscribed, I would love it if especially if you're a winner, I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I would love for you to be a subscriber. And if you want to hit that notification bell, then you will get my notifications. So, and this will probably show up in your notifications for YouTube. It'll just be a post and it'll just have a list of the winners and it'll be your name as it appears on your Google account, your YouTube name as you comment in the comment section below. Okay. So 4 more books to be given. I will announce them on Monday. That just gives the people a chance to watch the video over the weekend and to be entered. Okay. And I do wish you all the very best. And again, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for participating, for supporting us in what we do, for getting the word out, for telling people about, cable crochet is not as hard as it looks. That really, really means a lot. And I do want to read something to you before I head out. Um, I got to give you a good word to go on because it's a rough world out there. It really is, and lots going on. I'm not oblivious to it, but I'm trusting in something that's beyond me, beyond a lot of these man-made problems and man-made institutions. It's high above all that, and I am referring to the Lord God, and I do worship the Lord Jesus. He is my Savior, my all in all. And I just, like I said at the beginning, I just give him glory for giving me the strength to get out of bed to do this, to grow thick skin, to be on YouTube. I don't need it for you guys because you guys are great, and are so encouraging to me and to each other. And I cannot be more thankful I need to be more thankful. I mean, I just am so thankful for that. But I'm going to read you. Um, it's definitely one of my favorite psalms, and it's definitely one of my favorite passages in the scripture. I have many others that I love, but if you ever get a book from me, I hope you don't mind. I do this anyway. It's part of my signature. I write Psalm 103 because I think it encompasses a lot of my experience with the Lord, where I've been, how He plucked me out of the mire and set me on solid ground. I'm just going to read it. I'm going to read most of it. I'm going to read about 18 or so verses of this. So I hope this encourages you and gives you some hope. And it's a Psalm of David. And he says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgives all your iniquity, not some, all of your iniquity, who heals all your diseases, who redeems your life from the pit, who crowns you with steadfast love and mercy, who satisfies you with good so that your youth is renewed like the eagles. The Lord works righteousness and justice for all who are oppressed. He made known his ways to Moses, his acts to the people of Israel. The Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. He will not always chide, nor will he keep his anger forever. He does not deal with us according to our sins, nor repay us according to our iniquities. For as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his steadfast love towards those who fear him. That is the key, towards those who fear him. As far as the east is from the west, So far does he remove our transgressions from us. As a father knows compassion to his children, so the Lord shows compassion to those who fear him. For he knows our frame. He remembers that we are dust. As for man, his days are like grass. He flourishes like a flower of the field, for the wind passes over it and it is gone, and its place knows it no more. But the steadfast love of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting on those who fear him, and his righteousness to children's children, to those who keep his covenant and remember to do his commandments. The Lord has established his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom rules over all. That's just such an encouragement to my heart, and I hope that encourages you too. Anyway, thanks for joining me today, and I need to let Hannah get going. And I hope to be here with bells on next week. We will be starting off with a song of some sort. So again, thank you, those who donated so graciously and generously. I'm just thrilled that we'll be able to do this and be able to help Rancho 3M. Anyway, God bless. See you next week.